right, thank you for joining us today and showing your support. My name is Don Trost, and I'm high school principal of New Hope Academy Charter School. We are here to tell you today that we will appeal and fight to stay open for our students, staff, families, and community. We are deeply disappointed by the Pennsylvania Department of Education's decision to not approve our charter's appeal. Their decision to close our school mid-year is disruptive to students and shows that our city is caught up in the politics of education and is putting the children of our city at grave risk. Many families come to New Hope seeking a safe and supportive educational environment that offers a chance to succeed for their children. Most of New Hope parents have told us that they will not allow their students to return to York City schools. They will not place their child in a school that does not put kids first. Our school is having an enormous effect on our students and their success. We graduate 93% of our seniors and currently have an 85% college acceptance rate. Graduation and college acceptance is the ultimate measure of success for our school. As students are with us, we see great successes. We know that new state performance measures are a moving target, and we work to help our students achieve greater success as soon as they join us. This takes time, and time has proven to be what our students need the most. New Hope Academy remains dedicated to putting kids first, and will continue to remain by our students and staff's side to the very end. During this appeals process, we believe students deserve a consistent and safe educational environment without disruption. Students and their families should not be ripped from a safe and stable school environment mid-year. This school is home to more than 800 students, many of which left the city schools for a variety of reasons. Our students rely on our school as a safe and supportive place. It is essential that our school remain open during the appeals process. During our appeal, we will petition for a stay to remain open so that our students may finish their school year here at New Hope Academy Charter School. We will be filling all the necessary documents and filing them in the coming days. The students, parents, teachers, and the community are our first priority. We need the public support. We ask that everyone urge local and state decision makers to keep our school open during our appeal. And you can contact your local representatives. You can visit savenewhope.com to sign our online petition and to show support. You can also visit our Facebook page and website for the latest information of our school. We will soon be announcing a rally for the community to help take our message to the decision makers. You can get information on this event on our Facebook page and on the website in the coming days. We will fight for our school, our students, and our community, and we will appeal. At this time, I'd like to invite the gentleman that's requested this press conference, County Commissioner Steve Cronister, to the podium.
I appreciate you all coming at such late notice. This is a very important issue. I felt it had to be addressed today. I'm here to discuss the state's decision on Tuesday to close New Hope Academy. I oppose it, and I oppose it because it was just a short-sighted move on the part of the state. It is not in the best interest of the students or this community for this to happen. That's why I'm here today. The charter school, as we've seen, has appealed the decision, and we believe the governor and the education department should use discretion and not oppose the appeal. We're asking for the governor to step in. Why am I involved as a county commissioner? I've been involved. I've been involved in talking about education for the last 6-7 years. I think it's important to the county that we get our arms around education. We have a criminal justice system that's out of control. We're spending close to $200 million a year just from our county's general fund budget to fight crime. When we have graduation rates in one of the top 3 school districts in the state, that's not having success, although we hope they continue to improve and have the success. The only way to decrease costs is to decrease crime. The only way we can decrease crime is through education. I firmly believe that education is about doing that. And we need to make it stronger by charter schools like New Hope. I never, initially, 6-7 years ago, and maybe even shorter than that, I was really not a supporter of charter schools. I'm certainly not a supporter of closing schools. And a charter school that has done as well as New Hope, that has made this community better, that has taken trauma kids, a lot of traumatized kids, and turned them around. It's incredible what they've done. It's my vision of what needs to happen in every school district. You know, we need to fight this through helping these kids. If you help the kids, as Hilda Goodling did, Congressman Bill Goodling's wife, who is now deceased, she spent her last 7 years after retiring from York Suburban School District in a Baltimore County school district, very diverse. And what she did is she opposed the curriculum. She did what she wanted with the approval of the principal. She moved forward and did more than any teacher in that school district, in that school. By the end of the year, she was way ahead of the curriculum. And what she did is she taught the kids how to respect themselves, to respect each other, to respect their teacher, and to really learn what it is just to live each day. And after that, she was able to teach. You know, how innovative is that? You know, she was able to teach after being innovative herself, and that produced numbers in that school, and they now follow what Hilda Goodling has done over the years. Now I would like to read a letter that Mayor Bracy and I have signed. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here at the last minute. This is addressed to Governor Corbett and the Department of Education. We write today to express our deep disappointment with the decision to close New Hope Charter School on January 15th. We ask you to reconsider for the benefit of the 800 students affected and the staff members that will likely lose their jobs. The corporate administration and Department of Education should not challenge the school's forthcoming appeal and allow it to remain open. If the school closes, many students will be forced to return to a school district that, by the administration's own standards, is one of the poorest performing in all of the Pennsylvania schools. While New Hope, too, must improve its academic performance, it should be afforded a continued opportunity to improve, no different than the York City School District. Competition is a fundamental concept behind school choice, which the governor supposedly supports. We fail to understand the administration's apparent abrupt change of philosophy. When afforded a choice between New Hope and the York City School District, many families are selecting New Hope. I understand that there's been an increase of enrollment of over 100 students just this year. So I think that speaks volumes. This is evidenced by its growing enrollment. If the governor truly believes in school choice, families should be permitted to continue to send their children to the school. The decision to close New Hope also runs counter to Governor Corbett's reported support for job creation and small business. New Hope employs approximately 100 people, according to published reports. These individuals would likely lose their jobs if the Charter Appeal Board's decision stands. Please make no mistake. The mayor and I strongly support York City School District and its efforts to improve. We simply believe that New Hope should be granted the same opportunity and that parents should continue to be afforded the freedom to send children to a school that best accommodates their particular needs. At this time, I'd like to introduce somebody that's so dedicated to these kids, that has been ever since I've known her. Barb Leonard, who's the Director of Student Services, would like to say a few words right now. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. As the Director of Student Services, it is my position that I am here to speak for the parents that have been calling me all day, the children that have been in my office crying. And I brought a few of those students because they do have a voice. Right now, they feel like they don't have a voice. No one asked them. And I want all the parents to talk to whoever it may be, the governor, the state These children have something to say, and I would like each one of them to come up and tell you briefly. Everyone up here has a story, but they have been traumatized by this action in itself. What we do here at New Hope, we support our children. We have social workers, we have family liaisons, we have school psychologists. Every staff member here is a mentor to our children. We go beyond the call of duty. As a matter of fact, last week I took a student to a horse farm and watched a hose go up a horse's nose just because she wants to be a large animal vet. Scared the living daylights out of me, but we did it. And that's what we do. We have experiential learning. We go to equine therapy. We have support for every child here. We have the amazing performing arts. That's what's working. That's what's reducing the trauma. And until we all, York City, all the schools, we want every school to do better, because we can't do it all. We need every school here to understand that we have to reduce that trauma before any child will learn. Toxic stress will reduce an IQ level by 13 points. We must get through the trauma before we can teach a child, and that's what we do here. Ask any one of our children, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to have the first student that I met today in tears, Miss Janae Holly. I'd like you to come up and tell them a little bit about what you're thinking.
My name is Janaea. I came to New Hope last year. First word that popped into my mouth when I hear, oh, not my mouth, my head, but first word that pops into my mind when I talk about New Hope is home. A lot of people around here have been here for a long time, but I might have been here for a short time, but I know what love is when I see it. Before I came here, I went to York City schools. It wasn't working out for me. When I came here, I felt I had a whole lot of stuff going on with me before I came here. When I went to York City schools, they would just blow it off. But when I came here, I can't even describe how much New Hope is a better person than I was last year. I have friends, I have people who are there for me. The staff is always there for me. I don't know what I would do if it got shut down. Some people come here just because they're like, oh, well, I didn't ask to come to school. I don't want to be in New Hope. Unlike them people that come here and act the fool during trenches, when I say New Hope Academy is my school, it's my school. I ain't gonna let nobody take that from me. If school closes down, it's my school. This is my family. This is my life. There's been a lot of talk. Everybody on Facebook saying, "Oh, no hope. We ain't got no hope." But you know what? At the end of the day, when this school gets to stay open, we can say we made it. And I get to come back to school and say my favorite words. New Hope is my school.
My name is Shay Pasno. I'm a senior at New Hope Academy Charter School, and this is my 3rd year. I am not a dollar sign to be thrown at a problem. 3 years ago, I attended an upstate suburban school in New York. Before that, it was a rural school. Before that, it was William Penn Academy High School. My first freshman year in New York, I failed. At William Penn, however, my grades were good. They were fantastic. The learning environment for me was terrible. I'm a social butterfly. I love to talk. And if you put me in a classroom with 33 kids, with 25 kids, I will fail. Here at New Hope Academy, I've been an honor roll student from the day I walked in the door. The accountability and structure that this school has given me has made me thrive. I never appreciated education when I lived in New York. I never appreciated education until I arrived in New Hope. And the teachers, staff, and my peers educated me and taught me how important it is. So much to the point that my future goals include secondary education and becoming an English teacher, so I can influence my peers and the youth in this community, hopefully changing this community. I don't understand how the place that has given me this pride and this hope to change the future of my community can be taken from the community. We are not dollar signs. They say, be the change that you wish to see in the world. I wish to see people taking pride in education and caring about their neighbors. I care about my neighbors. And my neighbors here at New Hope care about me. And with that, I beg you to contact the people in charge, district representatives, state representatives, and tell them to fight for my choice to go to this school. It is my choice. The money that is attached to my head does not belong to you. Those are tax dollars that are paid forward on my head. I have a choice to choose where I am educated. And no one should be able to take that away from me. If I'm going to be a tax-paying citizen in this community, then I will choose the education that I want in this community. Thank you.
I've been in New Hope ever since 6th grade. I'm in 10th grade now. And being at New Hope pretty much changed my life and see how I see people. I want to become a social worker when I'm older. And since their social workers are here and stuff, they've been really helping me and pushing me towards that goal that I want to become. Closing down New Hope, I don't think it's right. It means a lot to me. And I know it means a lot to other people too. So, just rethink about it, because New Hope is a really good school. And there's a lot of good students here.
My name's Isaiah Anderson. I'm the managing officer and one of the founding members of this school. We are here for one reason and one reason only, is to keep this opportunity and choice alive for the students in this community. That's our only focus. Our focus is not to point the finger. Our focus is not to make excuses. Our focus is not to say that York City School District is in the wrong. We're a school of choice. We are trying to put a human face to a situation that hasn't had one. No one's talking about the young people. No one's talking about parents. These students are faceless, but they're not nameless. They have hearts, they have dreams, they have visions. And we have to make a stand. All we write about and all we talk about is violence and destruction. And then you have a school that's graduating 95% of urban youth. That is one of the highest graduation rates in the country. 85% of our students are going off to college. And about 70% after 3 years are sticking. All those are above the national averages. The expectation for us to change a generation of academic failure in 4 years is unrealistic. Students come to us 3 and 4 and 5 grade levels behind. We first have to change their attitudes, change the culture of the school, and then we engage them into the academic process. And they take off. The inconsistency of leadership at the Department of Education, there has been three Secretary of Eds in the last year. 3. Our case has been backlogged for 3 school years. And then abruptly, we closed January 15th. Abruptly. Doesn't seem reasonable. It doesn't seem reasonable. It doesn't seem reasonable. We're here to stand against that. Children who live in poverty, they matter. If this was a suburban school, it would never be thought of. But in urban communities all across this country, it's easy to do. Again, we're not making any excuses. We're calling out what the facts are. And we have an opportunity to change that. We do. We're encouraging our students to stand strong, to stay focused, to not be victims. And we're imploring on the adults to recognize that at a minimum, this senior class, of which 10 of them have already been accepted to college, already in this environment. Already, they've been accepted to college. What are they supposed to say? What message are you sending to the seniors? What message are you sending to the marginal children who are on the verge of dropping out? And because of the support systems that they have in place here, they won't. Can you guarantee me that those support systems will be in place when they leave here? How can you? The current school system, the current high school that they're proposed to graduate from, graduates 60% of their students. We graduate 95%. We are willing to throw away that many lives? Over what? But what happens when these young people show up at your back door with a gun because they couldn't find a job, because they're on drugs, because they're a dropout? Then you're ready to swing into action. We need to do something about it. We need to build a $5 billion prison. We need to spend $32,000 to incarcerate them. Then and only then will we act. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that even an option? When $7,000 a year would stop it. We need to make a choice. This is not about politics. This is about lives. This is a matter of life and death. Which one are we going to choose? Thank you. By the way, this concludes.
Can you answer questions?
Sure, I can answer questions.
The New York City School District, and as much as the school meets everyone, and the Department of Education unanimously, though, found that academic performance was lacking and that there were problems with admissions and also financial violations here with the school. How do you respond to that?
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to respond 2 ways. First of all, in recent memory, the York City School District had $1 million grant that they misappropriated. We don't know where the money went. The last couple years, they've run deficits of over $25 million. Those Those questions don't get asked. Wait a second, this is public record. Our allegations, everything that we've had, they're all public record. This was ago. We're talking about a financial statement that wasn't filed in 2007 from things that, we're talking about an admission policy about whether 10 students can get into the school on a 10th day of a school. We're talking about minor infractions that are they're not material infractions. They're not material infractions. So again, when you compare the mistakes of our particularly local school district and the mismanagement that's highly, I'm not pointing fingers, I'm telling you that's been documented over a generation. Failure that's been documented over a generation. We're talking about small, minor, legal, technical issues.
They apparently thought they were major. Shut a school down?
That's the question. That's the question. And we disagree with that. And we've obviously not argued that effectively. But we're wishing to continue the last couple steps to see if we can do a better job of getting our point across.
How will you change your argument going forward against the Commonwealth Court? How will you change your argument to make it perhaps a more persuasive one, because thus far it hasn't been persuasive?
Well, I tell you what, we're going to leave that up to the attorneys, but what we're hoping is that we can re-examine, because we don't have to go that far. We've reached out to the district. Hey, what mistakes have we made? We've not been able to even have that conversation. You know why? This is the same school system. See, listen, this is common sense, right? This is the same school system that allowed us to expand our charter from 7th grade to 8th grade to 9th grade, then the 6th grade, then the 5th grade, then the 12th grade. Then in the same year they denied our charter, they allowed us to open a performing arts school at the Strand. Over that same 5 years of our history, we never got one violation. You know when the game changed? The game changed when they found out that there were $20 million in deficit and the governor was no longer going to support the removal of charter schools. Then the relationship changed. It changed. Those are the facts.
You feel you have been targeted in some way unfairly? Or?
Yes, definitely. 100%. We feel like it. Every student in this school has grown more than one grade level since they've been here. Those are the facts.
I have a question. How would you, students, parents, teachers rallied around kind of the same issue for York City schools this summer when they thought they might be shut down. Their argument was that these charter schools sucked money out of the public school system and were making them worse. What do you think?
Well, I tell you what, that's a valid issue, but we fundamentally have an issue with how we fund education. That's an issue of how we fund education. That's an issue of inadequately funding the whole system. The governor pulled $1 billion out of the system. That's not a children issue. I believe there's one constitutional right that Pennsylvania has, is to educate children. That's not our issue on the ground level. And so, you know, I understand, you know, you're pitting one group against the other, and it's counterproductive. And I'm always curious when I hear we need to fix the charter school funding formula. And I'm saying the traditional public school formula is the bigger issue. It's where you can get more bang for your buck. Charter schools are the best thing that's ever happened to urban children, ever. That's where the academic devastation is happening. In Detroit, in LA, in Philadelphia, in Harrisburg, in Reading. There is a common denominator, a concentration of poverty, poor schools. Where do we start? Where do we start? So you're going to pull a school that's having success, and then you cloud it in these vague no one's really come at me with anything in specific. It's all these vague things. Any other questions?
Graduation rate, you said 93%. Is
Yes.
that for the last year?
Yes, that's last year. Now that's cumulative over the last 3 years.
And 85% over
Our college placement.
last year?
Yes.
Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, great.